Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm DFG and we are back in Stationeers for absolute beginners. In this session, I'm going to be showing you how to set up the Autolathe. The Autolathe being the primary printer for your base and the root of the technology tree. Everything else you build in the game starts with the Autolathe and then allows you to print additional printers, upgrade things and go on from there. So this is effectively the root printer. So Autolathe. It is found in your construction box along with your arc furnace. Again, there's only one design to this, similar to the arc furnace. Put in your hand, in your active hand, right click, and as you can see, you've got an input on one side and output on the other side. Same as you had on this, input, output. Now I do suggest you leave a couple of spaces either side, so imagine that's up towards the end, go 1, 2 over, just so you've got a bit of space to get things in and out. And if you're going front to back, don't go past the edge if you can help it, if you're placing on a base like this. So typically I would have it about there, so that's there when you're looking from the front. At the bottom there are two connections. The left hand one is the network connection, same as get the common theme here, is the network connection. And on the right hand side is a lightning bolt, which is your power connection. So just left click and place. Now the difference between this and this is this has 4 levels of build. This is the first level of build, it's nothing really, it's just a frame. So the next level of build is 2 iron sheets. And for that you need iron sheets in one hand and your welder in your active hand. Turn the welder on, come up, left click, and that's it. You can see it's added a few bits. Next thing we need is cabling. So just cabling in your active hand, come up the printer, see it's turned yellow, left click, and that's use 4 cabling. Take that out of my hand. Next thing is plastic sheets. The plastic sheets in your off hand, welder in your active hand, right click to turn on the welder, left click to build, then turn off your welder. You don't need the plastic anymore, and you don't need your welder. You now just need your screwdriver. And your screwdriver is level 4. Click. That is your Autolathe done. And it says here Autolathe Mark 1. There is a Mark 2, but that's a long way down the line. We will cover that at a later date. So Autolathe, what does it need to work? Basically it just needs power. Power and materials. But let's get power connected first. So nothing special. Again, just wire cutters in your off hand, cabling in your active hand, and we just want to run the cable up here. Don't need to worry about connecting the network at this point. All we want is power. Boom. That's it. Put that away. Put that away. If we now turn the printer on, and there are a number of controls. So the first one is the power switch, standard power switch, toggle switch, red off, green on. There is an eject handle, which I'll show you in a moment. There are 3 buttons here, left, print and right. That you press that to actually start the print. There is a search button here, and this one here is what's actually inside the print at the moment. Currently we've got no contents, there's nothing in there, so can't print anything. So let's go and get a couple of ingots we smelted last time. So there's 32 grams of iron to put in, 32 grams of copper, and 5 grams of gold. Now if we look in content, you can see we've got 32 grams of iron, 5 grams of gold and 20 grams of copper. Great. How much power is this using? So this is another thing you need to be aware of. So I'm not printing anything at the moment, but it is turned on. If we'll turn on our tablet with our network analyzer in it, we can see the Autolathe here is on, which it currently is, and it's burning 100 watts of power. Just sat there doing nothing, it's burning 100 watts of power. So you must, at this early game, when you're not using the printer, turn it off. Go on here, and there you go, we're not using any power now. So I just want to make you aware of that one. However, we do want to use it, we want to see what we can print. So the whole point is being able to print something. So left click on the search button, and if I literally scroll through here, you will see there are lots and lots and lots of things you can print, and we will probably go through most of these at some point or other. The important things, don't worry about them. Appliances, not really worried about that. Clothing, If you die and you come back with emergency EVA and spacesuit, you may have to print yourself a new one. Coffee mugs, don't think I've ever printed a coffee mug. ODA flag, don't think I've ever printed a flag. Empty cans you can use for canning food, so you may need to print some of them. Kits, iron kits, we've used them already. Access bridge, that is for when you've got a rocket, don't worry about it for now. Arc furnace, that's another one of them, so you can print another one of them if you want to. Chutes, so chutes allow you to connect printers and things together with storage devices, and they connect to the input and the output of your printers and the furnaces as well as storage devices. So that's what the chutes are for. Beds, it's a basic bed, you don't need to worry about that. Let's come down a bit. Centrifuge allows you to recover materials. Again, don't worry about for now. Don't worry about chairs. Cladding just allows you to clad buildings and floors, but don't worry about that for now. Composite windows, shutter, don't worry about that. That's again later game stuff. Container mount, you can use a container mount, and what it does is allows you to attach these crates to these frames. Now, why do you want to do that? The reason is, if you're on a planet with an atmosphere, a storm can come along, and if one of these is not attached to something, it will blow away, and you've lost whatever's in it, because it'll be gone. You'll never see it again. Okay, what else we got? Crate, so that is literally one of these boxes is a crate. You can print some of them. Door kits for building the doors for airlocks and other areas of your base. So electronics printer, that is another one of our printers. That's a very important printer. I'll cover that in more detail in a minute. Kit walls. So these are steel versions of the walls, which allow you to make different shapes, and they look different, they look better than the iron walls, and that's cheaper to make in steel than the iron walls. Floor grating is a grating that goes on the floor down here, as it says. Another important one is a furnace. So this is a basic furnace. This uses gas to smelt ores into ingots rather than using electricity. Furniture don't worry about, geometric walls don't worry about. This hydraulic pipe bender is your third printer. Again, we'll be using that quite a bit, and I'll be covering that in a separate video. Interior doors, so is what's in the tin. It's an interior door, it's not gas proof, but it is useful inside the base. Iron walls, so that's what we've used already to build our base with, these iron walls. Ladder allows you to print a ladder and then make it go up and down the side of a building. While I'm here, I'm just going to pick this up, this extra 18 grams of iron, and drop them in there, and you now see I've got 50 grams of iron. I was going to show you how to use this handle. So now previously I couldn't stack the ingots together, the two iron ingots, but now if I eject them from here, you see they've come out now as one 50 gram ingot. So I am going to put these all back in again. You must remember to close this handle. If you don't, you put it in here, 2 seconds later it pops out the other end. And it is infuriating, believe me, it can be so infuriating. So always close that handle until you've used it. And now we put these back in here. You do regularly have to change the iron ingots between printers because you have a limited amount of resources at the beginning. So anyway, so where were we? Iron walls, so that's what that is. Ladder. A light kit allows you to build lights. A light kit allows you to build wall lights for use inside your building, so you've got lights during the night or in dark areas. Locker kit is, as it says, a locker which allows you to store materials. We do have a locker kit on our pack somewhere. No, not there. Where is it? It's not in here. I'm just going to close that one just for, I don't like having it open. No, not that one. Not that one. Here we go. In this cardboard box, we have a container mount, a locker, tables, microwave, and egg carton. Let's bring that down and actually take out the two items. So to get something out of a cardboard box, you just come up, right click, and it drops the first thing out. Right click, drops the second thing out. That's all I want out of there for the moment. So I'm just going to stick this carton back in one of these boxes for now. And let me pick these up. So the locker, I do want to use a locker. It's very important to use lockers because you end up with stuff everywhere otherwise. So I'm going to right click on the locker, roll the mouse wheel, and there are lots of versions of the locker. If I scroll through them all, you can see. Now this big one here is quite useful, but it does take 2 locker kits. The best one I find is this one here, which is 5x3. You do have to make sure you've got the right way around. So if you sort of look at that side, it looks to be closed off. Look at this side, you can see the shelves open on this side. So rotate it so the shelves are open facing me, and then just left click and build, and there we go. And I'm just going to stick the rest of the locker in there. The container mount, which is what I showed you in here. Where was it? Container mount. Container mount, that's that one of them. Again, you just right click and you can see it looks a big frame on the ground. Press C to rotate. If you notice there's an arrow on the left and right hand side there facing towards me. If I do it that way, they're facing away. You need those facing the way you want the trunk to open or the crate to open. So I'll put that down there like that. And then let's take this one, say. So to open the lid, you just left click on them. To take an item off the lander, use a spanner in your hand, active hand, point at the main body of the crate, left click and it disconnects. And then with an empty hand, come round and click on the handle and pick it up. Same as you do with the canister. All I need to do is place this roughly over that. Now, spanner and my active hand again. When I hold it over the crate, it's gone yellow, left click and hold, and our crate is now firmly attached to that base, and I can open it and get what I want. So anyway, that's those bits, and while I'm here, I'm just going to get rid of, where are you? You can go in there, so can you. Don't want you on me. Right, where were we? Locker kits. Locker kits, yeah. Next one's padded walls again, steel walls, one of the variations of steel walls. Pipes, we have seen pipes already. We used it in our airlock to connect the two vents together. That's all that is. Allows you to print more. Powered chutes, these are a variation of the chute which allow you to do certain things. They do take power or control things moving through your chute network, not filter them, control the flow. Kit railing is what it is. It's a railing that goes along the edge of a frame or a building. Kit recycler, this is a big like paper shredder type thing that shreds anything you put into it and kicks out an amalgam of what the materials it's made of. You can then run that amalgam through a centrifuge and recover the raw materials. Reinforced walls, I want to say the reinforced walls withstand more pressure than the standard wall. Don't really need to worry about it. Kit respawn. Now this one, I am going to print this. And I'll show you this, I'll use this as an example to print something. So I've selected respawn point. Then all I do, if I come over the button, it tells me on the right hand side what I need to print it. I need 3 grams of iron, 1 gram of copper, and it's telling me I've currently got 50 and 20 of them in there. So as long as I've got that there, I can print. Click on the green button and it starts printing it. If you hover over the button, it tells you the percentage going up. You can see how much you printed. It will carry on printing this device until you stop it. So if we just let it print, there we go, it's kicked it out and it's now starting to print another one. To stop it, you click the button again and that stops it. Okay, now respawn point, ideally I want inside my base. So I'm just going to drop this here for now. No, yeah, drop this here for now. And if I have time, I'll show you how to do that before I finish the video. So next thing on here, so that was a respawn point. We have rocket manufactory. That is another printer for later on in the game when you start building rockets and go into space and collect resources. Kit SDB hopper is like a big hopper that allows you to drop lots of things in it and then feeds into your chute network. SDB silo is a huge silo which can store a huge amount of material. Very good for storing ores and ingots when you set up an automated mining system, so you don't have to keep going out mining manually. This is very good for storing the materials. Security printer, don't worry about it. It's mainly for multiplayer. It allows you to control access, print cards and things for control access through doors. Kit sign, so as it says, it allows you to print a sign which you can then, using the labeler, have we seen the labeler? Have I shown you the labeler? Where's the labeler? This is the labeler. Come up to here, right click, turn the labeler on, left click on a device, and this is called Autolathe 1. I'm just going to put 1 at the end of it. Okay, and now if I have anything in my hand and I hover over it, it says Autolathe 1, top of the little window that pops up there. That's doing it. Go back in, get rid of the 1, turn that off, and there we go. So now just back to Autolathe. You need to make sure you turn your labeler off when you're not using it, because it does drain the battery quite quickly. But you do use your labeler later on for quite a bit of work. I think I showed you how to use it on the composite doors and changing the name of the composite doors. So it's just for changing the names of things. Useful again when you learn how to program or do various logic things later in the game, but for now don't worry about it. So where was I? So a sign, yep, you can use a labeler on a sign to, you know what, let's print one. Let's just print one. Another way to stop your printer is, once it's going and before it finishes printing, if you hit one of these arrows, it changes what's being printed to something else, and that will cause it to stop. So now I have a label, so I can now place this on the ground. These signs, if you notice, there's a little bar right at the front there. If I press C, that now rotates around. It's not easy to see on the left hand side there, but it is rotating around. That bar needs to be towards you. Pick the labeler up. Right click, turn on. If I hold the labeler over the sign, it's red. Right click, turn the labeler on. It's now green. Left click, and I can call this one along. Put any label I want on here. DFG was here. Confirm, and there we go. We now have a label, the sign with a label on it. Put that away, and you can put whatever you want on there, and it will automatically adjust the text to try and fit on. Obviously, there's a limit to how much you can fit on each sign. I don't really want that label, that sign there. So how do you remove it? Use the crowbar, and there you go. The label's now in my backpack again. And if I place it down, I think it clears what was on there. Yeah, it's now blank again. Put that away, put that away. Right, labeler, signs. Kit sorter is useful for sorting things in the chute network. So if you have lots of ores coming in, you can use a sorter to sort out the iron from the gold, from the ices, and then they can go off to various places. Stacker will take what's coming out, well, whatever you put in it, or what's coming out of a printer, and stack them together to the maximum stack size. So what have I got here? As you can see, I've got 50 gold ore here. If I try and stack any more than that, it won't. It stays at 50. So 50 is the maximum stack size. Save for that. All ores are 50. Plastic sheets, iron sheets, and steel sheets, and glass sheets tend to be 50. Certain things like pipes tend to be 20. So the stacker will stack to the maximum amount, or you can physically set, there's a dial on it, you can set to whatever number you want, less than the maximum. If you have it more than the maximum, as soon as it hits the maximum, say 50 for ore, it'll spit the ore out and start stacking the next one. So that's what the stacker's for, stacking items. We will be using this later in the, as we go along, and I will be showing you how to use this. Stairs, pretty much what it is, it's a set of stairs. Stairwell is an enclosed set of stairs. Tables is a table for putting things on. You do need a table later on. Tool manufactory is another printer you're going to use, and this allows you to print better tools and EVA suit. So you can get a hard suit to replace these items. You can also build lenses to help you with mining and various other tasks, and that's all done on a tool manufactory. Kit wall, that's just a basic steel wall, and then steel frames are what these are here, except for the steel version. Astrolaze sheets, that's what they are, astrolaze sheets, which is an alloy and therefore used with the reinforced walls, I believe. Never had to use them. Cable coils. Cable coils, there are two types of cable coils. These normal type and a heavy duty type. You can only print the heavy duty type on the electronics printer. Glass sheets, we've used glass sheets, we used them in our base and we used them on our solar panels. Iron sheets, that's these here, you go through a lot of them. Plastic sheets here, they need silicon. Silicon ingot can be made on the arc furnace and on the normal furnace. Just be aware. Steel sheets, well, we've got steel, that allows us to make steel sheets. Stellite glass sheets, These are reinforced glass sheets, again for use in high pressure zones. Cardboard box, which is pretty much what I had here with all the bits in it. You can make a cardboard box, put multiple items in it. And then the last thing I got is an egg carton for storing eggs. There are eggs and chickens in the game. Very rarely use them. Eggs for food, maybe even for the chickens, never. So that is your Autolathe. That is a lot of items on there. I know I've run through them really quickly and they were like, oh my god, I'm not going to remember all that. I don't expect you to. I will go through everything slowly. As you can see, there is a lot of items to go through. And I will tell you, this is probably only half the items this printer can print. Once you upgrade it to Mark II, the quantity is probably doubled again. Then we've got the electronics printer kit. Electronics printer, where you... If you can't find something, there it is. If you can't find something, just start typing it up in the search bar. So and it goes electronics printer. That has as many, if not more, items, again in both Type 1, Type 2. The pipe bender, similar thing, it's probably got as many items, if not more. The tool manufacturer has maybe a few less items than the Autolathe. The rocket manufacturer has maybe about half as many items, as is the security printer. So they're all the printers, effectively, that you will come across in the game. Like I say, most of them have a Mark I version and a Mark II version. But that's it, guys. That's the Autolathe. It is a very, very important printer. You lose this at your peril. If you have an accident in your base and you've lost the Autolathe and you don't have a second one, game over. Restart. Unless you can get a one from a trader, which means you've got to have traders come. Yes, you get traders coming from outer space to land on your planet, and you can buy things from them. Unless you can get one from a trader, you're not going anywhere. Your game is over. So this printer is extremely important. You can lose pretty much everything else in the game. If you've got one of these, you're fine. Lose this, game over. Simple as that. So guard this printer with your life. Don't build gas canisters and things beside it. Don't build fuel storage beside it. Don't have anything near it that can go bang, because it will take it out. Yeah, just keep it nice and safe by itself. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is our Autolathe. I know that's been quite a lot to take in, but it is a very important thing. One last thing I'm going to do is show you how to set up this respawn kit, respawn point. So I'm coming inside my base. Let's let the gas rush out. I'm going to place it. So there's two variants of it. This one. So you can have it like so, or if you pick it up with a drill, place it, roll it, and you get like a pad, and I just prefer the pad. So I'm just going to stick a pad there. So if I die in game, when I respawn, I'll respawn here. If you don't have this, what you do is you come down in a very basic lander. Let's just go back outside and show you. You come back down in a very basic lander like the one that's in the crater somewhere around here, like this. And you have the most basic of basic equipment on you. You don't have a jetpack, you have a very basic EVA suit, very basic helmet, very basic tools. Now that can be really problematic if you're a long way from your base. You're better off having a spawn point and you respawn on that spawn point with all your equipment. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. It's DFG. Wishing you good night.